Maxi Hughes, welcome to Dublin. We can hear the rain coming down outside, but Saturday night promises to be a cracker in the ring. You've stepped in against Pierce O'Leary. How has this come about? How are we here?
Well, as it seems, I were actually looking forward to watching this fight, O'Leary versus Mark Chamberlain.
Yeah.
As a boxing fan, saw it coming up and I was like, right, I'll take part in that. It was 2 weeks ago. I was up in Belfast helping Colin Murphy sparring for his fight on this bill with John O'Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I started looking at the bill. I thought, you know what? It's a good bill, this. I'm looking forward to watching this. I'll get me tub of Greek yogurt, maybe a few tins of Guinness, and I'll enjoy watching that. The next couple of days, I get a phone call off my manager, and it's like, do you want to fight on that bill? And I says, why not? It's what I'm in the sport for. Coming off a loss, the loss that I had in December. I've almost had a bit of a chip on my shoulder with my training, my attitude towards boxing, with the circumstances around that, with Sean having an heart attack, fight day, and the fight just not going my way. I was like, I'm better than that, and I want a chance to prove it. I don't know when I'm going to fight again, and this opportunity against O'Leary, it's the weight above for the IBO world title. I've jumped at it.
There is a few things from what you've just said that I want to pick over, but let's speak about Sean and the heart attack first, which you just mentioned. Do you want to just expand on that a little bit for those who don't know maybe who Sean is or the situation and circumstances around that, and an update as to how it's all going now?
Yeah. So my coach, Sean O'Hagan, Josh Warrington's father, we had a fight out on it's almost exactly, it might be 3 months today actually, I think it was the 11th or 12th of December, out in Dubai, WBA World Title Eliminator. Training had gone all right. Again, another quite short notice fight, but one we were confident in. And then we had a bit of a routine. We'd meet in reception, we'd have breakfast and go out for a coffee. Wakes up fight day, goes down. I'm like, where's Sean? He's normally the first one down here. And my other coach, Charlie, he put his arm around me and he said, I don't want you to worry, but...
Oh, God.
And he says, Sean's in hospital. And I went, you're joking? I says, is he alive? He says, he's still wheels. He says, yeah. He says, he's had an heart attack this morning and he's currently, right as we speak, about 9 o'clock in the morning, he's having surgery. So we had to wait till he got out of surgery and make sure that he had 4 stents fitted. So, when we were able to, our obviously concern is not just my coach, he's my mate. So the fight wasn't even on my mind. I was just like, when can we get in? We were just that little pest at the hospital reception desk saying, when can we see him? I want to know that he's all right. How's the operation gone? I think it was around midday that he got out of surgery, but they weren't too keen on letting us in because they were in ICU. But eventually I explained the situation and he was okay. The surgery went well. He's come out of it good. But unfortunately he wasn't in my corner that night, and I realise now how much I missed him, him being there and stuff like that. So I've told him he's under strict orders to have no heart attacks until at least Sunday, till we've got this fight won. So yeah, it were, and I think the main way that it impacted me was I was just too negative, and I don't want to use it as an excuse, but that wasn't the best version of me in the ring on 11th, 12th of December. So, this has come around, and providing Sean don't go down on us, we're ready for a lot better version of Maxi Hughes turning up Saturday night.
Really well said, mate. And obviously, maybe late in the day, we pass on all our best to Sean as well, and long may the no heart attack run continue. Just before we move forward, the other thing I wanted to pick you up on, you said you were going to sit down with your tub of Greek yogurt and tins of Guinness. Is this a fighter's diet? Is it, Maxi?
It's I absolutely love Greek yogurt. When I'm dieting and training for a fight, I have to measure my portion. But if I'm free to my wife goes mad because we have to buy like 4 or 5 tubs a week.
The big ones.
Yeah. I do half a tub in one sitting. That's my guilty pleasure, and since sparring with Colm a couple of weeks ago, I first time really trying a Guinness, and I really got the taste for it. So I thought, right, St Paddy's weekend, some boxing on. I've still got them in fridge now. I've got an 8-pack of Guinness waiting for me. So unfortunately, they're going to have to wait till I get back.
We should probably talk about the fight.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
why we're here.
For,
yeah, it's why we're here.
Yeah.
Pierce O'Leary was sitting in that chair a few minutes ago, and to put it bluntly, he says he's going to knock you out.
Yeah, I expect no less from him.
What kind of fight do you see happening?
I think you're going to see a vintage Maxi Hughes. You know, some of those great performances I've had, skill, a bit of all that. That's what I've been training. I've shown it in the gym, the sparring, and usually over experience. You know, this is fight number 40 for me now. You know, and I think I had a count the other day. I think just over half of my fights have been championship fights. You know, I've been in the ring with better than Pierce O'Leary. I've beat better than Pierce O'Leary. So, you know, I've got the experience. He's not showing me anything I haven't seen before.
It's my job to stir the pot.
Yeah.
Preface this with this. He sits there and he said, every time you stepped up, you've not shown that you can compete with the level that he is at.
Well, I've beaten better than the level he's at. His biggest win was Liam Dillon.
Which is a good win.
Yeah, a good win, but very close.
Yeah.
Very close fight. And let's not forget Liam Dillon. I'm moving up 1 weight to fight Pierce. Liam Dillon moved up 2 weights to fight Pierce and give him a hell of a fight. You know, I've dealt with the skills of Kid Galahad. You know, nobody can say that Kid Galahad's not a good fighter. He's won every belt in boxing. Great fighter. You know, although it didn't go my way, I've shared rounds with William Zepeda, who's on that elite level. Again, another fighter I didn't get the win, although everybody knows I should have had my hand raised. George Cambosos, former undisputed lightweight world champion. You know what I mean? Even I think he's a former stablemate of Pierce, is Archie Sharp. You know, the fight were a bit of a stinker, but I showed discipline and I did what I needed to do to win. You know, I think just in those fights alone, you know, never mind all the other fights, the other championship fights I've had, it's all been at a lot higher level than what Pierce O'Leary's fought at.
Do you plan on addressing these things with Pierce when you see him?
No, I'm not one too for words. I like to do my fighting, you know, my talking in the ring. I love it. You know, I'm probably the underdog again. I've come in at short notice. So, you know, a habit since I picked up at school is I love shutting confident people up. People who underestimate me, I love shutting them up.
Well, Saturday night we'll find out who shuts who up.
Yeah.
We look forward to it, and your Greek yogurt and tins of Guinness will be picked up after the fight.
Yeah.
Maxi, all the best. We can't wait to see it.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.